Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Newell Winter Finals. I'm Zachary, I'm joined by the ever wonderful Ampulio. And how are you doing on this wonderful evening?
You know what, much better now here you're here, honestly. I'm looking forward to a fantastic match tonight, casting with you, which is always a pleasure. And, maybe cold outside, but, if everyone's tucked up nice and warm, ready to watch some CS, could be worse, could certainly be worse. How are you?
I'm feeling good, cold, definitely. It is absolutely freezing tonight, especially over in Bournemouth. But hopefully the feisty nature of CS warms me up a little bit. We've got Mama P versus KCL Lions tonight. Our grand finals, best of five, weighted in favour of KCL Lions, who come into this one having gone through the upper bracket. Meanwhile, Mama P and Warwick University are all the way down in the lower bracket. They actually came through thanks to UWE Sea Stags. Unfortunately, they had a player deficit, so unfortunately had to forfeit ahead of this. So Mama P take their place instead, and we can see just on that playoff bracket just how every team came through. And do you want to talk us through this a little bit?
Through the bracket? Well, as you can see, KCL currently pretty undefeated throughout the playoff brackets, beating Podbot 16-13, close game, slapping Half Netty Head Tappers 2-0, and then beating UWE, which was relatively unexpected to a degree, right? Which have not been as good as they've been previous seasons, but KCL have been looking hot, and they may continue to look hot into tonight. And, well, looking for a matchup against Mumbai, who they haven't played in the upper brackets or in the prize playoffs so far. And it's certainly been very interesting. Mama P, though, as you said, had a lot more difficult and challenging path, getting knocked down by UWE Sea Stags through the lower brackets. So they're going to be playing someone who beat the person they were beaten by. It's going to be tricky, but you know what? They've shown they've got tenacity and drive to go through the lower playoffs. So, why can't they take final here?
They've also played twice as many games as KCL Lions just by going through that lower bracket, 9 as opposed to 5. So it's certainly got more in the tank in terms of kind of experience coming into this. It also means that KCL Lions have a little bit more to watch if they want to anti-strat them. Although, actually, having a look through prior to this in terms of the maps that Mama P have played, it's been pretty limited so far. Overpass has been a mainstay. And in a best of 5, of course, you get sort of that full arrangement of maps. You only really get to ban 2 of them out. And speaking of banning 2 of them, we actually already have our map bans. We come into this one prepared. It's already something that we're ready for. I don't know exactly what you're expecting from this one, Ant, but, well, they're directly below as we can see them all as Ancients banned out by Mama P. KCL Lions have got rid of Nuke, and then we've got Overpass, Vertigo, Mirage, Inferno, and then the decider on Dust 2, a map that, of course, isn't in the pool anymore, but because this competition started before Anubis came in, Dust 2 remains as part of our pool for this event.
Yeah, also a good point to make. Yeah, we would love to see Dust 2, I'm sure. It's such a fantastic, wonderful map. I know everyone that knows that I love it. It's not good. But we won't be playing it, yes, because this is a best of 5, but as you said earlier on, it is weighted. So KCL, since they came from the bracket, they do have a 1-0 map advantage already, as if they already won Dust 2, but before these other maps. So if they win Overpass and Vertigo, it's over. Mama P, they've got to win Overpass, Vertigo, and Mirage. They've got to win 3 over just the 2 from KCL. So it's going to be even more difficult for them to try and battle back into that. But, it should be interesting, right? These maps are not unexpected. We don't really expect too much of Ancient, especially Nuke. But we always say about how deep you need to be strategic-wise. And a lot of these sort of teams, they just sort of want to fight and they want to play with what they know, what they've been playing with for years. So I certainly think Overpass, Mirage, and Inferno they're not surprises in any capacity. But Vertigo being picked straight off by KCL, do you think that's a surprise? Do you think it's unexpected, or were you expecting that precisely?
I don't think I was expecting Vertigo fully. No, I knew it would come in, but certainly not as a guaranteed map to be played. Of course, sort of when you do have to win at least 2. The second map, of course, will definitely be played, and we know that even if KCL do win that first one out. So excited to see Vertigo, especially because it's not a map that really we see all that often in Newell, kind of as you go through the best of 1s, especially, which we casted together, and then the best of 3s. Generally, you'll see it occasionally, but it's never really always there. So for a best of 5 final, always like seeing kind of one of these newer maps. Again, not new, but newer. It's always a little bit of fun. It always adds a little bit of spice to the occasion. Should be exciting as well, seeing just how they kind of take ramp control, exactly how they play around a lot of the smokes that kind of over time, because it's been in the pool for, to be honest, a little while now. There's a lot of smokes, a lot of utility that is really fundamental on this map that sometimes teams don't really take the time to learn. But you can demolish, really steamroll people, especially on the T side. If you know your nades and the other team don't, you can just end up winning the map sort of 16-3, 16-4.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with that, right? We're going to see quite how much preparation MMP have brought into this. Because for one, a point to make, they weren't expecting to play here. UWE were going to be here. So MMP, to a degree, may not have done their counter-stratting, the research on KCL. And maybe they haven't been practicing this week. It's certainly going to be a factor that may come into play tonight. With that they're going to be playing. They weren't expected to be playing in the finals. Vertigo as an issue, they've banned Ancient. How confident they are in Vertigo? Because usually they'd expect, like it said with the best of ones, you're going to be banning out 2 things, and then in the best of 3s, usually you get 2, but one after the picks. So Vertigo may be one of their weaker maps. They've only been able to ban out Ancient. They may just get rolled over on this. Or they may not, It's just entirely speculative at this point. And as you said, team coordination chemistry is very, very important in that, along with nades. Overpass, I think not so much. So I certainly think that since they've picked into it, you've got players, what came out in 2013, has been in the map pool since then. Everyone's comfortable with Overpass. So if these guys are happy and their chemistry rather than actual strats sort of thing, if the chemistry's strong on this map, it'll be shown. Vertigo, perhaps not so much, but yeah, we'll certainly see it come to life. And it's the first map of a best of 5. So if they're not fresh now, I don't think they'll ever be.
No, and what's fun as well is with UWE coming into this one, if it had been UWE, we've seen KCL and UWE play so many times. Of course, about a week, 2 weeks ago, they played on Ancient and Mirage, so we saw KCL come 16-13 on Ancient. They managed to beat out UWE, who most people were expecting to come into this one through the upper bracket. Then, had UWE then made their way through and actually been able to field a team today, then we would have seen probably a repetition of what we'd already seen in the upper finals. These two teams, the last time they played each other in this competition was all the way back in the early stages, back when they were all competing for top 8 positions to even get to this point in the first place. So, and that one, actually, funnily enough, was on Overpass, and KCL lost 16-6. So there's so much time since then that we've had. It's very much, it's sort of there's less counter-stratting because, one of these teams has sort of been given the opportunity to be in this final within the last sort of day. There's less opportunity to map ban based off how other people are playing. Again, for the same reason, also because it's a best of 5. You only actually realistically get to ban out 2 maps, or make that 3 with the way, obviously, the picks go and that kind of upper bracket advantage that you come out through this with. So because we've just had so much time in there, it's a lot less sort of obvious, I guess, who's going to come through this one doing better. A lot of the time in this, we'll see the team that just lost in the upper bracket semis end up going into the lower bracket and just trouncing their way through and making their way to the finals anyway, just coming in with a 1 map disadvantage and saying, you know what, we'll try it again, but this time we're at a disadvantage. This time we get to see a fully fresh encounter from a rivalry that was established all the way back at the start.
Yeah, I'm certainly very much looking forward to that, right? And as you say, like, I don't know how much preparation these teams do anyway in advance, as they've only got a certain amount of time, and at the end of the day, all these guys are uni students. You don't have, most people don't usually have sort of unlimited time to spend counter-stratting other teams and then coming up with all sort of wacky strategies.
Depends
and then getting
which
time
university
to
you go to
teams.
Sometimes.
Well,
at Hull, I had time. At Hull, I had the time. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends from team to team, right? And university and whatnot, and how dedicated they are. So whether they, KCL may not have just they didn't research MMP or UWE at all anyway, and they just want to play their own game, and obviously that wouldn't affect it. Whereas maybe MMP very much rely on sort of the counter intelligence, and sort of because of that, they may be missing out on their, their IGL currently is just sitting there panicking so hard, just trying to look through demos. But I don't know. I can't see what they're doing at this point in time. But it's certainly very interesting. And I think one thing, obviously, you said that KCL lost to MLP however long ago, way back. One factor, at least one person, which will make a difference whether we see him tonight, is Volt. Right. So last week he showed up. So I think he played since spring, but he showed up last week when they played UWE and when they beat UWE. And he had fantastic stats. A nice amount of kills, nice amount of headshots, nice amount of ADR. So if this man is here tonight, I certainly think that's going to be a factor whether it comes into play, or which will come into play, on how KCL do, right?
At the same time, though, one man does not a team make. You can have one player absolutely popping off. Everybody has to show up. And that's one thing that Mama P sort of have in their favour coming into this one. Of course, coming through the lower bracket, most things are skewed against them. But at the same time, all of these players, just looking through the KDs, looking through the kind of level that we're seeing across the board, all of them are performing at very, very similar levels. They've all got the similar flash durations, all similar KDs, all similar ADRs, all similar headshot percentage. It's the kind of thing where you look at it and you think, these guys are all pretty similar players stats-wise, and it means that they're kind of all popping off at the same time. And when you're coming up against a team of players that are all getting 20 kills, there's actually not really much you can do as a solo player. You have to really go for it. So while Volt is definitely a key player, I think KCL need to kind of have, as well as that, sort of a big push from players like Benyaz, of course, the AUPA for KCL Lions, key synergy as well, another player that is always up and around the top, even when Volt isn't playing. He's someone that really I've kind of zoned in on, especially kind of as it's gone on throughout the playoffs, especially. He's looked very, very good. So Volt playing would be obviously a bonus to them, but there's so many different factors as well, just in the players that we see on here. They're all kind of in and around the kind of, top level of university CS, that in and around. They are at the top level of uni CS. They're in the finals, but they're just all so good. They all play so well. I think Volt is such an incredible player. It elevates them, but they all need to show up.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that, right? It very much depends on who's eating their Weetabix this morning, right? So if Volt turns up, he's been practicing for the last 4 hours, just tapping heads, just going absolute ham, and he turns up tonight, and he's just better, if he is statistically better than all these players, and if he turns up and is better than all these players, he's just gonna be a one-man army. But as you said, all of these players, none of them are anything to laugh at, right? They're all fantastic. So if they are able to, the one fundamental thing every single week, bring it up, trades. If they're able to get these trades in and coming in from different angles, double swinging him and double peeking him and whatnot, they certainly can shut him down, and obviously the rest of KCL, because all of them are, again, very fantastic players. So I think it depends if he just goes ham, if the MMP players all show up, if they've got one weakling. I think that's one thing that we talked about 2 weeks ago now on the broadcast, is that the guys on the CT side were just a detriment to the team and they were losing rounds. Well, I think they were on the T side. Sorry, they were just not doing too well. Swap over to the CT side. They started playing. They played well. They ended up winning, and that's one thing that's it's got to come into play, that these guys are actually performing. All of them, I guess.
And Mama P as well, just on that, all of these guys have pretty similar entry kills, entry deaths, and that's one of the things, when you look at it as a stat, it doesn't really seem that important when they're all the same. None of them are particularly impressive, but what it indicates usually when you see stats around that level is that actually all of them are working the trade game pretty well and pretty evenly. So they're not just baiting one player. They're not just saying, you go in first and we'll trade off you. Because then at that point, that person almost becomes an indicator that, we're using him as our trade potential. They always know that there's a second person around the corner on the other side. So instead, what we see with them is they'll put players in, usually 2 into an angle. They'll go forward. One of them might die, but oftentimes that trade potential is always there. So they're doing a very, very solid job of making sure that players are tradable off one another. So I think that is something that Mama P have really down to a T coming into this one. Hopefully we get to see it. Hopefully hopefully now that I've said it, we do get to see that across one of these games, because I think on Overpass especially, we're probably going to see it. It's a map that's very well known for its trades, especially towards the A bomb site when you're playing on the T side. It's unbelievably important. Same, to be honest, goes with the CT side, although, of course, a trade less beneficial for them. Of course, in a 4 versus 4 benefits the T side rather than the CTs. But certainly want to look out to in this one. And, well, speaking of looking out for them, we're jumping into our first game. Mama P versus KCL Lions on Overpass. Very excited to be here in our grand finals. Well, Mama P starting on the T side.
Yeah, as I guess relatively expected, right? If this map was chosen by Mama P, KCL, they'll choose the CT side, and they're hoping to make quite a bit of a splash early on. As Volt, he's certainly playing tonight, and he's certainly looking to kick it off in Starless. Key Synergy is actually the man to go all the way through, but Papa P's on it, Carp on it, and he shuts that down there and then takes his head off. As Diabolic Carp, he finds a kill of his own onto Beniaz at the other side of the map, and well, now Mama P, after what we said, well, maybe quite a strong showing from KCL, especially early on. They're looking quite weak, very on in this pistol round, unless any good player can shut it down. And, well, maybe that player, he does get 1 kill, but that's all he can get. Shelf not quite able to get the headshot, but the B-bomb site, it's relatively open, but Volt is still here. The smoke isn't down, and he shuts down the first player, going straight onto the site, 2 on 3, and with that, he does back off, and this does give Mama P a bit of an opening, but as that opening is, well, opening up, Cairo is coming with a flank and looking to try and shut down Volt from behind.
Needs to get a little bit of luck, and, well, a little bit of luck forms in his favour. I thought it was going to be rotating in, but not so much. Jin, the 1 player left now, and a 1 versus 3, whiffing on the headshots, and Mama P taking the round. KCL Lions going 1-0 down in the first map, and, well, you got to say, Volt being on the team is quite exciting to see, but 0-0-1, less exciting for him than maybe he was expecting coming into this first round.
Yeah, very, very early days on with the game, but yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see if they do go for well, a sensible eco. Only 1 gun brought up, and that is the Deagle. A nade on Jin, and any impacts, any kills here would be nice for KCL Lions, but at the moment, it doesn't look like anything will come through. Mama P charging straight into the B-bomb site, straight through the B-bomb site. They'll get the plants completely uninterrupted. No one able to stop them there, and KCL, they'll have 4, made into 5 guys, I think, coming through Connector. And this could be a bit of trouble. If they do hit their headshots, it could certainly get very awkward for Mama P, but they've got the guns, right? They've got the advantage, so they can certainly just shut this down relatively easy if they play it smart.
I think very smart from Mama P just in general, as the players actually starting to run onto the site. KCL Lions not taking any steps to preserve life as 4 players sprint in. All of them die. Key Synergy only surviving by nature of the Molotov, which blocks him off. But Mama P, they come in and clean that one up. But more what I was going to lean into was just going up into heaven, planting for heaven. Smart from Mama P. They knew that KCL Lions have a tendency to go in towards Connector. And, well, they played around it pretty smartly. The players all anti-stratting perfectly, to be honest. But now is the really important part. The M4s are picked up. Actually, Mama P remaining on the MAC-10s. There's only two players with MAC-10s. The rest of them with the AK-47s. And actually going for it. Jin pushes around the corner without the assistance of a flash. Picks up 2 kills. And Mama P already 2 players down. It's been 25 seconds.
Yeah, that's not the best sign, but Jin will get one back, as the pace does eventually. As I say that, Cairo, I think it was just before the smoke bloom. It doesn't say that it was through the smoke, so Beniaz slightly caught off on the timing, and it's actually made, well, slightly more even. 3 on the CG side, 2 on the T side, but Shelf, with just a MAC-10, it's not looking fantastic. He will continue to sit there perched and just waiting for anyone to walk through, but no one will just wander in that direction. He'll stay perched up. Ku just watching the tunnel as Cairo will eventually go walkabouts. Volt is here on the A-bomb site. I think he may have just spotted. I think he did, actually. Now he does. Certainly does there. And with that, he does call that there's at least 1 T over here. And that's actually a big rotation. Both players coming off. And Shelf, as I say that, Shelf would have heard that, but they do sneak back on towards the site. And Shelf is still being very, very cautious. 30 seconds left. Just the MAC-10 slowly going in. Cairo not quite there yet with him. Throws in the molly, coming out from connector, and they'll go for the execute. He's looking for a rifle and does find an M4. 13 bullets is certainly enough in the mag, and they'll actually get the plant. Cairo getting a kill, but is straight away traded by Goo. And now it's Shelf in a 1-on-2, waiting to find the kill, and somehow spots him out through the edge of the woods, takes his head off, and now it's just Volt versus Shelf on 32 HP. No nades, not on Volt at least. Shelf has a flash, and Volt doesn't have a kit, so he's going to be quite quick. He was there very, very rapidly, so he can somewhat take his time, but he can't dance around for too long. He has no idea where Shelf is. He's going to check every angle, and he's going to swing right out. He'll take him down. And I think he has his defuse. Yeah, he's got plenty of time. What a play for Volt.
He's played absolutely wonderfully there and really justifying why he's come in for the sort of final 3-4 games of the entire competition. A very, very solid player in his own right. And, well, not even in his own right, just a solid player, a great player. And taking that first round, although Mama Pete certainly able to buy back into this round 2-1, and they're going to hope to bring it into 3-1, although that Tech 9 in the hands of Shelf is not ideal, of course, the IGL, of course.
Shelf not quite possessing the formidable firepower of an AK, such as the rest of them, but, well, he can still make do. Certainly if he takes down any one of the players on the CT side, that's a free gun. And as I say that, the CT side, they're not actually looking too sharp themselves, right? 2 guys and Famases. I don't think they have a single kit. I can't quite actually see, but I don't think they have a kit, which isn't really great considering MRP have got quite a few plants. But I guess obviously you've got to do your best. And certainly both teams will be. Dr. Spades slowly creeping up towards Connector, and I think who's putting him out and continues to jump, but he'll just be ignored.
There's absolutely no reason to take that second jump. It's dangerous. It's really playing with fire here. He's continuing to push for it, doing a little bit of damage, but that can really get taken advantage of when that goes wrong, and it hasn't in this case. Jin goes down to Cairo. Benyaz ready for the players to start pushing in. Only manages to get the one, though, as Dr. Spades takes him down. Q, he's been spotted out and goes down, in fact, to the IGL Shelf, ripping the head off with the Tech 9 as the players start to farm in towards the B-bomb site. But Key Synergy, he's in a perfect spot to be able to rip off heads. The bomb down now in a really poor spot. And Volt comes in for the assist, picks off 2 players who are low on HP. And KCL Lions make it equal after a very solid defense to the B-bomb site.
I said about the weak weapons, but it's the damage that was done, right? If they're low on HP, then it doesn't really matter. 2 bullets will kill you with a FAMAS if you're already at half HP. And that's exactly what happened. They just got chewed up and spat out. Fantastic from Key Synergy, and actually all the players on the B-bomb site. Stellar defense there, keeping Mama B out. And there you go, they're calling it tactical. They're not quite happy with what's going on already. 2-2. And they're taking advantage of the technical timeouts. And already, we always talk about that, and I do love it. It is a smart use of it. Perhaps a bit premature, a bit early, but you know what? If they want to, you've got 4 of them, make use of them. And you certainly have. Deciding quite what to do here. Dr. Spades has brought up a Deagle and Arm, and a few of the rest of them just pick up a few pistols. Nothing too substantial. Maybe a rush coming out. Something quick, but nothing fancy at least. As Volt will be the man right at the front, ready to deal with the vanguard of the attack, and he doesn't see too many at all. Throws a nade a bit too deep. Jin swings out wide on long and gets one, looking for another, and they'll actually get it. Volt finds one as well. With only 2 Ts left. The 4th is split out, spammed out through the woods, and it's just Shelf left with a Glock, and he won't be much longer for this life as Benyaz, I think he missed the AWP shot there, but Key Synergy has his back, he cleans it up, and it's a flawless round, all 5 alive. KCL Lions take the lead. It's not bad at all.
Not bad indeed. And if you want to go to Zach's Tactical Timeout Academy, but usually I like to call them just before the gun rounds, playing them into an eco round. It's just extending an eco round. When you've actually got your weapons, it gives you just a bit more of sort of a imagination as to what's actually going to happen. You can visualize what players have. You're not imagining, everybody's going to have AKs, because you can see Shelf only managed to pick up a Galil. But either way, we move into our 6th round of the game, and Mama P are angling towards B early, but, well, I think KCL Lions know it. The players are all crowded towards this position. Diabolic Carp and Shelf pick up 2. Actually, the CTs, they've not really rotated in. There was a player all the way up. I think it was actually Volt or Key Synergy had pushed all the way through A, but it had not been noticed. Volt's actually going to push through on towards them. So no, he's managed to pick up every single one of them. Mama P! How have they managed to throw that round away? Volt just pushes through a smoke and no one's watching it.
Oh, Dios mío, that is something. And the fact that he just lined up as well, just the timing, I thought, this isn't going to happen. Oh, no. Oh, it just, oh, okay. So that happens. They just line up, the spray's perfect. I mean, it's not an easy spray to get, and he just nails it. That's like, what, 10 bullets, 3 guys dead? And single-handedly shuts the round down there. Absolutely spectacular from Volt having that control, and well, KCL shut Mama P out of that gun round, and well, now they're going to go for a bit of a force again. Papa P picking up a scout, Volt already taking off Shell's head. 1 player down, and it's not looking great for Mama P. They've got to try and break KCL out of this winning fashion. 4 straight rounds, and Dr. Spades may have just the right idea. Coming up behind him, and he'll take down Volt. He beats him in his own game, and he gets at least 1 kill. Beniaz kind of overwhelmed and totally overwhelmed. Diabolic Carp will take him down with a Tech 9 Depth to Spades, finding an AK as well. Finding a kill with that AK. He's been turned on his head. Only 2 CTs left alive, but one of them is Key Synergy. And he's very aggressive and looking for blood as he does find the first, almost, the spray coming through, but it's only good for 1. And that'll leave his teammate, Ku, sitting in connector, slowly pushing out to try and win a 1v3, and he does about stop the bomb plant. Just about. He'll temporarily delay it, but he goes, relocates, changes position, and will get it down. And Dr. Spades, he'll finish off the round, gets the headshot. A 4K for him, spectacular, and that's all off the back of just pushing through that smoking connector and catching Volt off guard. After that, he just goes off the rails. And, well, as I said, they need to do something changing it up, you know? And they do. He certainly changes it up, and they break KCL's streak.
Great time to break it as well. Probably feeling very confident after the play on short in the previous round, so they needed to kind of put a little bit of rain on their parade, and they did it pretty perfectly, especially on an eco round. These KCL Lions might need to think just a little bit harder about their aggression, although Key Synergy continues pushing and does manage to pick one up, supported by his teammate as well, who's watching down. Connector able to run all the way away as his teammate now retreats himself. KCL Lions, they have the advantage. There's no reason to continue pushing map control. And KCL, they just run all the way back to site. The CTs, they don't need to continue fighting now. It's all up to Mama P to find the equalizer in terms of numbers. And they are continuing just to have little checks, but nothing over-aggressive, which is what I love to see. He says that. Volt actually going to push in towards long. Might actually catch a player out. You can see on the map, Papa P is starting to back away all the way down to T-spawn. And, well, perfectly timed, to be honest, as Volt doesn't manage to see anything out of the ordinary. But what it does allow to happen is his teammates to go and start rotating down towards the B bomb site. He's seeing absolutely nothing. His teammates filled with information now as Jin gets picked off from range. Cairo gets the kill. And Mama P, they've got entry onto the site now.
That was just such unlucky timing for Mama P. They try to sell the fake, but then immediately Volt pushes through just as soon as they leave. And they're still going to try anyway. They're pushing in. Papa P will get 1 kill, but Ku, he'll get 1. Looking for a second. Cairo burns him alive. And it's now a 2-on-2. And they've actually got a good shot at this. Beniaz trying to watch it with the AWP. Papa P shuts down his teammate. And now it's just him on the AWP. It's going to be very awkward to get into. The smoke is still there. They'll be allowed to fade away. And he spots the head. But with that, he misses the shot, and he's looking for Cairo, but Cairo sees him first. Just through the edge of the smoke, he'll shut him down. And Mama P continue. They start to build their own streak up. They get their 2nd in a row, and despite everything going out of their favor, right? As I said, like, they tried to sell the fake, they got map control, but then they leave the moment, literally the millisecond, that I think it was Papa P was around the corner. Volt comes around and sees no one's there. And he almost got the drop on Dr. Spades, but again, timing was just not there. And that's just unlucky. And, well, you see what happens, the consequence of it. KCL, they have absolutely nothing in the bank. They're going with pistols, and Mama P, perhaps they know that. Or either that, or just They're going straight in to be with just a bit of luck on their side. No one's there. They get the plant uncontested, and KCL, they're left with, well, just a few pistols, and they're not looking too excited about trying to take anything off of MRP.
It does, however, allow KCL to realise, you know what, maybe next time we're on an eco round, we should stack in towards the B-bomb site, because Mama P, they've gone there both times at this point. KCL Lions both times have gone in towards connector, and both times it's not worked.
I mean, they may change it up, right? You could hope if they continue to do this, like, next time it's an eco. I mean, they're going to do one or the other. They're either going to go, okay, let's change it up, we'll stack B, or they're going to go, well, they can't just rush B again. We should try it one more time. It's going to be one or the other, and
it just keeps going every single time. They're like, they surely have to go towards B now. No, now it's connector. Now it's connector. And every single time, it's a different area of the map. But Mama P, they pull ahead. And now we have equal weaponry once again. No AWP, though, for KCL Lions. Not able to afford it. And Benyaz, reeling just a little bit because he doesn't have that in hand. Once again, KCL, they try and set up towards Monster in a way that's actually very aggressive. They're continuing to fight on the on those AWP angles, and they do know that one's there because Kairo's picked them off before.
He's again going walkabouts all the way through. He's checking every corner, realised that Toilets just looks quite empty, and with that, he's getting onto the site, and he may make the call, but at the same time, Volt's going all the way through. Key Synergy's rotating up, and this is all about timing and spray, and Key Synergy comes out on top with the spray. Volt almost kills Cairo, narrowly gives him a haircut, but Diabolic Carp is in there to try and, well, shut that down. He does successfully, takes off Volt's head, and with that, it will be 4-4, and some sort of order has been restored. Key Synergy is now on the site, and the T's are now out of it. 45 seconds left. Where do they go? There's only one player there. Benitez has rotated off, and he's thinking about coming back to A, and he may do that just in time as the smokes, the mollies, the flashes, they're all coming out. And Mama P look to try and push in, and they do. Benitez goes straight onto the site. Key Synergy swinging out, gets one. There's a lot of damage, but nothing more. The T's come out on top, and they can successfully get the plant down. But can they hold on to the site?
I can't believe that wasn't a spray. I cannot believe he didn't get multiple players there. That was so perfectly teed up for him. And Volt, we've seen him before just run through and spray players down. A perfect moment for someone to replicate that, just swinging wide on the dice, pick up 2-3 players. They weren't really looking at him. I think if he gets that first kill, that is it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right call from KCL to save, right? Like, you've got no money, and you're locked out of the site. Both of you are still on B, so you're going to have to either run all the way through and let them know that you're both there, or sneak all the way through, realise you don't have kits, and just save anyway. So it's a smart call from them, but it's got to sting somewhat. They had some very, very, as I said, stellar rounds, some solid-looking rounds, some fantastic kills coming through, some brilliant strategies, but now they've sort of dropped off. Mama P, now they've got 4 in a row, and Puppy's just disappeared. He's made like a tree, and he is leafed. So, you really can't really do that in the past tense, but, I tried anyway. Got to commit to it. And I'm assuming some sort of a technical issue as you do temporarily pause, but one issue I guess I've got to point out as we're sitting here looking at stats is the stats. Volt and Key Synergy, they are the 2 top players, right? Key Synergy has been fantastic this entire season. Volt been fantastic when he's played. Bennyaz only one kill. He's got to get some kills, bud. You're on the CT side. You can't just be a weakness either on the retake or just on your own site. So I think that's a problem that they've got to try and change around, right? And this is a good time for him to just perhaps reset and see what's going wrong, see what's up, change position, change nades, whatever,
Yeah, and he's a player as well that fundamentally does very, very well on the AWP. He's someone that previously in this competition we've seen the skill that he has. 1 and 7 really isn't the level that Benyaz usually lingers around. I mean, 26 ADR is pretty woeful, even by the idea of sort of a bad player within CS. Usually you would expect around 60 ADR at the kind of lower echelons of the table, especially coming into the grand finals. You kind of, for a good performance, 80 ADR and higher is roughly where you want to be. I think Benyaz will happily settle himself around 70 when he does get that opportunity. But considering he has had the AWP so far, averaging either a bullet to the body or 1 kill every 4 rounds is not that impressive, and surely he'll be disappointed with that. So I imagine we'll see a massive improvement from him as time goes on. Just needs that mental reset. And this is why we have tactical timeouts, and this is why they're there. It's just to bring players back into the game. So hopefully we see one of those at one point. But enough about that. It's Key Synergy mollied off, and Benyaz actually takes 56 damage in one fell swoop. Drops down incredibly low. I'm not sure what that was from. I assume a nade. And he's absolutely dusted very, very quickly, and that's going to make things a little bit harder for him to pick up a second kill.
That's very true. But as I say, I have said this, but also it is the very early days of this game, right? It's only 10 rounds in on the first map, and it's a best of 5. So there's plenty more rounds to be played, but this round isn't looking so great. And as I say that, he just gets 1 kill back, and Benyaz does begin to chime in. He gets his second kill. He swings out perfectly. Nice bit of coordination there. And he almost takes down Dr. Spade as well. He's actually looking to pursue it. Looking to push further. And he may actually get lucky with the timing here as he does swing out. He may get very unlucky as he gets his one with a nade in his hand. But Cairo, ever so quick on that AWP. He's been spectacular tonight so far. He'll take him down, get the trade, and now put it into a 2-on-1 coup with a FAMAS and a Dream. And he may just make that Dream realised. But it isn't. It isn't, unfortunately, as Cairo switches to the AK, gets the spray, and ends, well, his day. 7-4, Mama P continuing with their chain of rounds. And they're not looking to stop anytime soon, especially not now when they're back, or KCL at least, are back onto pistols.
As good as this looks, though, even if they win this map, they've only equalised in terms of the actual total of the grand finals. So really a must-win for Mama P. KCL Lions, meanwhile, nowhere near as much pressure on them. If KCL take this map, Mama P, they're one map away from losing the entire thing. So a lot more pressure on them, and I think it's pretty evident that Mama P are performing very, very well with that pressure so far. The way that they've managed to avert the disaster that could have been the rolling storm of KCL Lions 4 rounds in a row, but Mama P have come back into this one looking particularly strong. And well, KCL only on the 5-7s and Deagles. They would need to have a mega round to do something. Cairo down on 66 HP, puts him within range of a 5-7 headshot or a Deagle double body shot. So needs to be careful, but with the AWP, the range that has, probably going to be playing a little bit further back than everybody else, allowing his other teammates to potentially entry into areas.
Fultz almost getting caught off there, but somehow B-Hops his way out of it. That's a bit of a saving grace there, just landing that hop. But whether it will make much of a difference in the long term, I don't think so, because as we actually called it, the one time they're going for the stack on B, and Mama B are going to A. That's gotta suck. I can't really put that into words too much better.
How has this happened every round?
KCL guessing wrong, Mama B are guessing right, I guess. The one time they go B and A is right for the taking, and with the pistols, there's not too much they can do. Once again, as Dr. Spades, not only is he watching it with the AK, but Cairo's sitting there watching it with the AWP as well. He's looking to try and preemptively spray. Cairo gets the first shot. Dr. Spades gets the second. Papa P's on long, and he may just take down Benyaz, but Dr. Spades is the man to do that instead. Being picked apart. Shelf, he finds one as well. And Ku, probably best thing to do now is just to save that armor. Maybe give the Deagle to Benyaz if he gets the AWP next round. Looks like he will.
I agree.
Not bad.
That was close. Players coming around the corner. That was very close to him taking a combat in that one, but I think he'll be happy to keep hold of the armor. I mean, his team, they can start affording to buy now pretty much every other round. They are able to pick up weaponry when you are on this much of a loss bonus. It's something that kind of you get the privilege of doing. And well, talking about privilege, 2 AWPs, Key Synergy and Benyaz both pulling them out at this point. And well, I mean, really resorting to extreme measures to pick this one up, but 3 players have pushed in towards B short. Benyaz going to peek into this, might catch a player, might actually get caught out himself as players actually looking to push through the smoke. 2 of them pushing through the smoke. The flash has flashed everybody in this angle. Benyaz managing to pick one up, Ku with another, Jin with another, and the players from Mama P that take that risk pushing through the smoke. It's not worked out for them at all. It's a 2 versus 4 as players pushing in towards the site, and well, it looks like it might all be over for them on this B bomb site as they're kind of looking to back away just a little bit ahead. goes off from Jin. Cairo loses out. And it's only Shelf left. The IGL, who called this strat more than likely, is left sat in the tunnels thinking, what went wrong?
Yeah, he's got a very, very big task on his hands. Monumentous challenge as he slowly goes in. 45 seconds left. And he's going to find 4 kills quite quickly. Doesn't the bomb at least, so they don't know where the bomb is. But as I say, that Jin just swings out and gets his 3rd kill of the round. And what a showing from KCL. That was absolutely spectacular. Exactly what we wanted to see. Is KCL being competitive. And on the CT side, you usually want to get at least 9 rounds, right? And that's not going to be happening this time. But maybe their T side's stronger. We'll just have to wait and see for that. But in the meantime, any CT round you can get is fantastic. And certainly in such dominant fashion. 4 guys left alive. It certainly helps the economy. It certainly allows them to get the kits, get the nades, and if you win further rounds. And it'll certainly help with confidence too, right? You've got to be feeling a bit better if you're fragging now and if you're thinking, actually, we can batter them back. We can just batter them entirely in just whole rounds. We can do it again. Let's do it again.
And no shame as well in going against 8 rounds on the T side as well. The T side on this map can eventually yield you 9-10 rounds, so shouldn't really be too upset with this one as KCL, they're potentially Volt actually going to get that first face and rips the head off of Diabolic Carp. Dr. Spades trading out perfectly though as the player goes to overextend and peek round the corner, not allowed to do it. Key Synergy picks off Papa P, who's going a little bit too quick down there, and Dr. Spades unable to spray him down from range. Key Synergy just hiding around the site, calling in his teammates to come help him as KCL take the first advantage of the first exchange. Shelf though starting to push out on towards the B bomb site, and I don't think Benyas is ready for this. The AUE watching in towards Connector. Who's going to see the first one first? He actually does get the shot. He gets the kill. Benyas walking away. There's another player on site. He's managed to avoid him completely, and Shelf, his teammates died around him. He's not been able to pick up the kill on the player on site, not been able to trade. The B bomb site is not any easier for them to open up as players peeking in from heaven, from sight, from everywhere around him. Sat on the pillar, goes down to a nice little spray from Jin, and KCL Lions, they get a 6, making this one as close as it can get going into the final round of the half. But Mama P, they were inches away from taking that B bomb site cleanly.
And then all falls apart, or at least it's ripped apart by the Lions. Looking spectacular there. Benny, I didn't even realise he caught that shot until you said that. That's looking pretty good, and I'm glad he's starting to warm up, right? We said he needed to, and he certainly is. And Key Synergy's chiming in too with his AUE. Looking for a second, getting so aggressive, and he nails it! 2 kills found, and eventually he's shut down by Cairo, who just taps him out with a Tech 9. But they're 2 spectacular shots so far. He looks to go long. Benyas is already watching it, and Benyas, he spots the AUE scopes peeking, and he'll nail the shot. Takes off his head. That's gotta hurt. And he'll fall all the way back to site to meet up with Volt, who's already there and already chiming in with a kill of his own. Shelf's dropped, and Dr. Spades is left in a 1v4. Shelf couldn't do it, and neither could Dr. Spades. KCL just flying back into this second half, getting 3 in a row, and that's going to set a tone. They're going to be feeling much better about themselves as they go into the second half.
A game of streaks as the Fnatic Academy player up at the top. Volt is an incredible specimen, looks very, very good, and is really propelling his team to greatness in this one, especially with the pistol round coming up. KCL Lions can continue their streak. 7 rounds so far, but they can pull ahead if they do manage to win the pistol and the follow-up against Mama P, who inevitably, if they did lose, would likely go for the eco, but that's going too far ahead. KCL Lions sprinting into the B bomb site. 3 players here. This is a perfect scenario for them to potentially get the bomb down, but Shelf gets the head of Benyas first.
What is this? Kills just popping off everywhere. Papa P and Cairo, the 2 left alive, and the bomb is planted now. They've got to try and find their way into the site and defuse it. And this is an odd setup from KCL. 2 players getting very aggressive, and just Key Synergy sitting at the back. And he does put out 1 CT. They don't know where the other is as of yet, but they may very soon. And now he does. He nails him though. He takes his head off. Cairo's gone, and so is Papa P. Key Synergy just flies back into it and gets his 650th and 16th kill. He's now top of the team and top of the entire server. What a pistol round. What a way to come into the second half.
They come out, I think, the way they intend to continue, and as I said before, Shelf has called for Mama P to just remain on an eco round. This time, though, KCL Lions, they're walking into a little bit of a stack on towards the B-bomb site. The bomb at least has been dropped. Key Synergy waiting for players to spin round in these positions. The heads go. Oh, that's still 3 kills for Jin, though, as 2 players go down. The bomb able to be picked up safely. There is a player in this position that's watching from range. Volt takes 20 HP damage from range. Benyaz, though, watching for the players to continue pushing forward. Cairo on the AK-47, not got any armor, so Benyaz with that MAC-10 able to pick him up pretty easily with some body shots and saving the AK as well. That's 2 AKs saved to Galil as well, and the rest of the T side able to pick up AK-47s. I think Key Synergy actually might be... No, he's able to be dropped by Benyaz, but on the other side of things, meanwhile, an MP9 for Diabolic Carp, a FAMAS for Papa P. They're not exactly wonderful weapons. I mean, the M4A1S even at this point isn't that wonderful a weapon with the nerfs that came through, but, well, they'll have to make them work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that M4A4 is, like, better in every way now, right? At least in my opinion, it just seems that the 4A4 is better. Obviously, at longer range, the damage being dropped off and fewer bullets in the mag is obviously back to how it was, but... I mean, we'll have to see.
6 shots at range. 6 for some of them. 6.
Baffling. I don't know why he wouldn't use the M4A4, but, well, these guys, they are better than me, and they are the creme de la creme of university esports, and, well, we can see exactly what they can do just to hit the headshots, and that's exactly what Cairo does. So does Key Synergy. He returns the favor down to 9 HP, so not quite dead, and if he had an M4A4, Cairo may have won that. Maybe. I'm just saying. But, not a bad trade. Not bad at all. KCL perhaps mildly behind. Obviously, one guy who's so low. But as you said earlier, you alluded to it and actually straight up mentioned it. 4-on-4 trade certainly does favour the T side. But as I say that, MP strike back. Dr. Spades finds a kill of his own and he does make it a bit more even in their favour. And he's looking to continue to push. And Key Synergy's here waiting. But he's so low. Dr. Spades will easily win that fight. And will actually find the bomb dropped. So that's monumentous. That's just such a major event. 30 seconds left, and they basically won it. KCL's got to run all the way through there. And as I say that, Diabolic Carp is now here, meeting up with him. And KCL can't do anything. They're going to have to save.
Dr. Spades is pressing the advantage, really wants to get these kills, I imagine, after time. Hoping for a player to potentially give himself up and weaving perfectly around where these guys are. Likely not going to be able to find anything unless you get some extreme luck in the latter stages. Yeah, actually maybe going to walk around the corner and catch one of them out. Start shooting. Oh, does get the kill on Benyaz, but Ku trades just in the nick of time. KCL Lions, they've lost a player now at the very final part of the round. Benyaz down on $1,600. Jin very low himself as well. Able to pick up a little bit of armor, but that is less than ideal dying after time. If this is your first time watching CS or you're not acquainted with it, once you die after time on the T side, if you've not planted the bomb, you are screwed. You get absolutely $0 at the end of the round. Your money looks 1,000 times worse. Well, KCL Lions have been on the receiving end of it that time. The player dying directly after time, but KCL, they still force up, they still push it, and looking a little bit worse for wear considering the weaponry, and looking certainly worse for wear considering the early damage.
MP certainly coming out on top in the early game of this round, but well, there's still 1 minute 10 at least left of this to play. As some kills come in very quickly, and that may just happen. Jin is already up close, lining up, and the rest of his teammates have joined him, ready to charge straight into this site. But there's 3 guys here. Flash goes through, Diabolic Carp just spraying, can't quite get a kill, but eventually he does. His mag runs out, and he has no more bullets. Shut down any more T's. Shelf will get the trade though, sits up close, the flash is perfect, he'll take him down, but immediately traded by Ku, who's now left in a 1v2, but nails the headshot to Papa P. That is disgusting. But luckily, at least for MP, he doesn't get away with it. Cairo, as soon as the smoke fades, will gun him down and get MP to double digits, their 10th round, and they'll take back control.
You know what, Ant? I am not jealous of casting that round. 6 players, I think, dying in the space of about 3 seconds. It's difficult to do.
Yeah,
I'm glad that I was nowhere near that one. KCL, they've fallen behind, though. and probably going to fall behind even further with the weaponry they've got actually rushing down in towards middle. They're spotting the players out, continuing to push Volt on the Glock, leading the line. It's not a perfect weapon to have at this point, but Papa P throws down the smoke, able to watch for players pushing forward. The MP9 manages to get a couple of them pushing in from the behind position, and Mama P, from a pretty dodgy and precarious spot at the start, they managed to equalize the weaponry, the players quite quick, and then go even further than that with the number that they took down. KCL, from very positive looking rush to the depths of despair as players fall quickly around one another. KCL, though, able to pick up weapons into this one and make it probably a little bit more dangerous as well. That Molotov has absolutely missed. Cairo misses the shot too.
He missed all shots throughout this game. Obviously, plenty that have been hit, but I guess relatively uncharacteristic, and perhaps just the style of the Orb is playing so risky.
Oh.
That's certainly a risky play from Papa P, but he does come out on top, takes down Ku, wins the fight, drops the smoke, and actually, that's very, very cheeky. Fakes the door, opening and closing, running away. I don't think anyone heard it, so he's not going to quite get the benefit of that, as Jin does the exact same thing. He pulls in a reverse guard, he fakes running away, sneaks back to watch the ladder, and Papa P isn't quite falling for it. And as I say that, eventually he does, and Jin, he'll get the better of him, gets the equalizing kill, and that's exactly what he needed. He just needed just that. Nicely played, and as I say that, Volt has worked his way all the way through. The A-bomb site for some reason is completely abandoned, and Volt is already here waiting to greet the CTs with a bullet to the face. That's one. That is not quite two. Shelf gets the better of him, and he'll change angles straight across to the dumpster. Gets flashed off, throws the nade, and is calling for the rotations. Not doing too much damage, but 30 seconds left. The T's get to site, and they can safely plant.
Lucky to fall out of that one with his life. I think the nade, moving towards throwing the nade, has actually saved him his head as players started to peek in towards the angle. So smoke goes down, it's buying the CT side, or the T side, I should say, a little bit of time. A nice little trade from Diabolic Carp to take down Key Synergy, but Jin holding the position, watching for players to push forward. The smoke now begins to dissipate, but Diabolic Carp gets a second kill. Benyas, the one player left, the one player that we spoke about in the first half as needing to come into this one, needing to do a little bit better. Mama P start defusing the bomb, but they're stop starting. The bomb actually not going to be able to be defused. KCL Lions, I don't think they've got the time to do this one. Benyas has managed to win the round for his team. He's managed to get the kill on Mama P. They fall behind, or not fall behind, they lose the round 11-10 after a pretty solid showing and a dicey hold from KCL Lions.
Such a nice attempted take, at least, from Diabolic Carp. Just swing out, winning that fight versus Jin. Absolutely spectacular. And you know what? Benyas, a spectacular play from him. We said about him being slightly weaker in the, or not performing, perhaps, not exactly weak, just not performing earlier on in this game. And he did. He stepped up there, right? He won the first fight. He played it so patiently. He didn't get jittery. Peeked out just when he needs to. Won that fight perfectly. And then didn't peek out for much longer. And that's exactly what he needs to do. He delivered. Won that round for KCL. Keeps them in this game. And MLP, as we see, and well, perhaps a much needed timeout being called. What are they going to change? What are they going to do? They don't have too much money, so they should be able to buy in this round. It's not going to be beautiful, it's not going to be spectacular, but it should get the job done. That's good. He's actually himself on a Mac 10, so both teams looking quite broke, and this is where it can get very, very desperate, very dicey, and just pure strength and aim comes through.
Diabolic Carp down on 28 HP by pushing up short too. I'm not sure that was the most convincing push considering the rewards he got, which is information, but given up complete monster control. Dr. Spades trading left and right as Key Synergy picks up 2 kills. Benyas as well with the kill on Shelf allows the bomb to go down. KCL Lions, they've won the round. There's no reason to even go for this one. Papa P and Cairo, they've given up. They're running towards the A-bomb site. And well, that push from Diabolic Carp on short, definitely a focal point of the round in terms of what went wrong for Mama P. And that was bad timing too.
Key Synergy looking to try and hunt down these 2 final players, and they may not be expecting it. A dink comes out, but the dink isn't good enough. M4A4 just simply not good enough at this point versus the AK. Key Synergy coming out on top gets his 22nd kill, leading by a good chunk, a good margin against most people in the server. But Cairo, he'll hold on to this. They won't find him. He'll sit tucked up tightly in the corner. You can hear Beniaz coming behind him. But yeah, honestly, that round, I think it was mostly just MLP getting caught off, right? KCL just pushed through. They didn't do any smokes out, or not many smokes, not many flashes. They just kind of ran at MLP, and they were all out of position. They were all just not really paying attention. They just lost the fight. They just got absolutely decimated. And sometimes that happens. MLP just caught napping, and you see the consequences. Now, we've got 4 guys and pistols. Cairo on the AWP, obviously, once again, trying to save it, perhaps another round. Maybe trying to make an impact. And he won't actually be cushioned by these pistols. If he goes down here, that's the AWP lost and not really recoverable, as you can't really get inside with just USPs. But if he nails his shots and they peek him one by one, he can certainly make a very big impact. As we do see here, a little 3-man stack if anyone does come around that corner, but no one's even near there. No one's present at all. And they're all looking to push into B. Kairo's fell back, to a bit more of a passive position. He hits a shot here. He can fall back and change angles. As he does spot out someone jumping. Very, very close shave there, but he'll miss the shot. And with that molly coming in, he'll decide to actually run back through it to save the AWP. And perhaps that's the right call. No one quite pushing him as of yet. He could have waited out, but another way, he relocates to heaven. It does hit one shot at least, takes down Jin. And any kill here, we said about it, or I said about it at least, the money.
Oh!
Any kill he gets here is good for them economically.
That was very open on the plant there. Lucky to manage to miss that shot from the from the T side's perspective. I mean, my word, that was almost very disappointing for KCL Lions. The bomb could have been dropped completely in the open with an AWP watching it. But luckily for the T's, that shot is missed. The players remain alive. And meanwhile, on the other side of things, Mama Pete, they get to save the AWP. He's running away. I take that back, actually. The head goes. Volt pushes for it, gets the kill. Dr. Spade's probably not even going to be allowed to pick that AWP up. Unless, actually, players just fully missed it. I think he's going to be able to shift towards it after that bomb goes off. I cannot believe that KCL Lions aren't holding that AWP.
Yeah, slightly odd, but you know what? I guess they still want to challenge it too much. As I said, they don't have too much money, but as I say that, they do have a fair bit in the bank that they can throw away, right? Volt's on just under 8k, Keystone just over 6k, same with Beniaz. So they certainly could have thrown 2-3 AKs at it to try and take away that AWP. Because if he lost that AWP, they wouldn't have been able to afford another one. Cairo has absolutely nothing in the bank. So it certainly would have been quite a deficit, quite a detriment to that. And if he would have got a kill straight off there, that would have been very, I guess, in the face of KCL. As Papa B's behind the tree here, he's going to swing out and get 2 kills. Nothing more than that, but 2 is certainly enough. And he gets the info of 2 more players being there. They can call massive rotations and try to adjust to the play, but they don't know where Volt is. Now they eventually figure it out. Diabolic Carp just running straight into him, as Volt gets a second kill, looking for a third, tapping away, and he finds it. Shelf puts himself on a shelf, gets his head taken clean off by Volt, who just single-handedly opens up this B bomb site. He sees Papa B get 2 kills, and he says, you know what, I can do one-up that, I can better that. He takes him down, and what a good start to the round, just falls it entirely apart. Volt just showing quite why he's so good and why we talked about him so much in the pre-game.
I can hardly believe it's even the start to the round. We've had what, 40 seconds of the round at that point as all those kills come through. Somehow these players are making their way all the way on towards the B bomb site with that much time gone. Papa P had no right to get those first 2 kills in the first place. You know, as 4 players are facing him down, there shouldn't be that openness. He shouldn't be allowed to get 2 kills. Somehow KCL have done that. And as good as the spray was, and very well done from Papa P, realistically, that's a failure on the part of the Lions to be ready for a player to swing like that, and very much a position that should be one and done or getting 0 kills in that spot with 4 players facing him down. But Papa P manages to do it, and then Volt just opening up the site causes so much discord as players are moving around. No one knows exactly where he is. The players are peeking out one by one, and somehow he's picked up 3 headshots and completely opened it up for KCL, who eventually end up planting on the B-bomb site, much as you would expect. And, well, I think it's shown a little bit in his KD at the moment, 19 and 13 with 84 ADR, but actually Key Synergy doing even better than that.
Yeah, 23 kills. He's certainly leading by example, right? It's absolutely fantastic. I say leading by example as if he's as if he's the IGL. He's been spectacular, right? He's been nailing those AWP shots, and when you've got a player doing that, it's so impactful. I said in the previous round, massive rotations, perhaps a bit too big, and that's a bit of a misplay from MP, and that may cost them this map. as they do all of them, bar the saved orb, are onto pistols now, and they cannot compete with the AKs. Getting picked apart, 2 dropped in connector. Dr. Spades and Diabolic Carp just waiting outside of connector on short, and Cairo with the orb can't even get anything done either. Beniaz for the swing, it is absolutely perfect. Takes him down, he makes him miss the shot. And look, I assume they look to plant on this site here. They've got it open. The bomb is quite a way away, but they're slowly, very slowly getting towards it. And obviously with that bomb being planted there, they can sit there and watch the orb. It can't be recovered by MMP. And MMP, the last 2 players, they're just left with absolutely nothing. They will have enough money to buy the next round, but you lose that round, it's 15-11. And KCL, they're 1 away from taking this map, and you have absolutely nothing in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, it's really at the point now where it's all or nothing for Mama P, and this is where the timeouts come in useful. I mean, saving the armor, likely the choice to make at this point. Is Diabolic Carp actually going to continue pushing? Does end up falling. Not going to get anything. By getting the kills, all you're going to do is save a weapon. You're not taking money really away from the T side. The money already so impressive, and I'm sure they know this with Volt 10,700, Benyas basically 10k. All you're getting from this position is realistically the AK-47. By getting that kill, doing very, very little for them. They could lose all 5 players and still be able to buy into the next one. And well, quite rightly they are. Jin continues to buy up, able to get full utility, able to really show up again for his team and start playing the advantage. And Mama P, they have to win this round, as you quite rightly said before.
And even if they don't, right? Even if they don't win it, or if they do win it, it's a massive confidence boost, right? They win it, they're back in the game. They don't, obviously they're out of the game, but also you had some spectacular rounds, but now you just sort of crumble towards the end. The long-range stamina just not quite there, and that's certainly heartbreaking. That means that you're down 2 maps. They've only played 1, but now they're down 2 maps. We said that they're going to have to fight extra hard, extra long, and in this first map, they've already sort of started to just crumble very, very slowly away. Volt's certainly one of the catalysts of this, poking holes in Mama P's defense, and he's looking to do it once again. And as Cairo falls away, Volt looks to chase him, but he doesn't check the other way. Papa P just shooting him in the back, and now he knows there should be some players there. And his intuition was correct, but he looks away at the wrong moment. Kuman and Key Synergy, they actually strike back, get 2 kills basically at the same time, and turn it back on its head. Now KCL have the man advantage. They've got so much map control. And Mama P, they look to actually stick 2 guys on A and try to go for a bit of a gambit here.
Yeah, big gambit too, but it looks like it might work out for them. There's only 1 player on towards the B-bomb site, and that's Dr. Spades, who's actually waiting for players to start pushing in. Picks up 2 Spades for a second one as well. Manages to get all 3. It's Jin left in a 1 versus 3 from a position where it was a 4v3 going in towards the site, but Dr. Spades has done incredible work, and Cairo with the orb from heaven finishes it off. Mama P, from the depths of despair, managed to turn it around and say, you know what, we can actually do this pretty well.
I thought they were out of that. I genuinely did. KCL just looking to go straight on the B-bombs. Like they have a man advantage already. Then they've got all 4 guys charging straight into that site. But then Dr. Spades not only nailing the shot, but also it just seemed like it was a bit panicked from KCL there. They couldn't find him. They didn't know where he was. And by the time they did, he'd already killed 2 guys and ready to kill the 3rd. It's somewhat unexpected and chaotic there, but that's exactly what Mama P needs. Well, more chaos, just pushing straight through. Papi and Shelf both getting a kill. More damage onto Ku as well, but eventually he sprays back to the smoke to take down Shelf. And eventually it starts to settle. 2 players to say that. Push up short. Benny is getting the first and getting the second. We said he needs to show up and just turn up. And eventually he does. 2 very, very crucial kills to get this B-bomb site for his team. The smoke goes down. Cairo can do nothing. He's eliminated from the equation. And Papi up close is going to be the man to try and make it, try to kick it into action. As the retake eventually will come in, the bomb is there, eventually ready to plant. This is difficult.
This is a really difficult spot for them. You're absolutely right. Ku goes down, though. The M4A1S spray does manage to pick him up. Cairo, with this AWP, needs to really push through the smoke, needs to do something. Jin on 100 HP. Benyaz only on 19, but I think Mama P are just giving it up. They're backing away. Actually, I've just realised Papa P died, of course. There was a little trade in there that I missed. Cairo not able to do anything at this point. I mean, the AUE against 2 players, retaking a site, it's super, super unlikely. And KCL are going to go for 15, and Mama P are going to play it for overtime, which I think is the smart call, all things considered, but certainly going to be one that stings just that little bit, like lemon juice on a cut, as they watch their possibility of a regulation time win slip away, and they now need to win 3 in a row.
This isn't going to be pretty. It's not going to be easy by any measurable capacity, but it is possible. It's only 3 rounds. We've seen Mama B do some delightfully wacky things before, and again, rightfully so, calling a timeout. This is the prime time to call it. You don't have too much money. You do have the AUE if you're on Cairo, but the funds are relatively tight. They don't all have full 4 nades. They don't have any more than 1 kit. So it's not fantastic. It's not spectacular, but it's a good buy. It's good enough, right? They've got 4 M4s. They've got the AUE, and they can certainly turn it around. But they do need to be airtight. They can't let anything slip through, and they have to nail their shots. If not, you're 2 maps down in a best of 5, and you're going. This was their pick as well, right? You're going on to KCL's pick of Vertigo. It's not going to be pretty at all.
This is a rush onto the B site as well for the potentially the final round. They're just continuing to push forward. Key Synergies gets 1, Jin with another one, Volt gets a 3rd. And while the B bomb site's fallen, it's a 2 versus 4. Cairo and Papa P, as they're watching the players fall down on the B bomb site, they need to do something spectacular here for Mama P to potentially not go 2-0 down in the grand finals. And Papa P starts it off well, getting the headshot on towards Key Synergy, but Cairo falls to Volt, just swinging through a smoke. Papa P has to pick up 3 kills in a row, manages to do some damage to Jin as well. 3 HP, the AK-47 in front of him. There's absolutely a chance he can take this one, but the time 100% is against him as he starts pushing forward, the AK in hand, and the head falling off. 16-12 at the end as Mama P on their own map pick of Overpass Fall, and the addition of Volt clearly doing its work as Mama P losing that one to KCL Lions, who take a 2-0 lead in the grand final.
They started out so well. That was so competitive. Even to the end, it was really, really competitive from Mama P. But the KCL just having that slight edge to take them through, and now Mama P, they're in a very, very difficult position going on to KCL's map pick in a best of 5 when you're 2 maps down. As I said, it's not enjoyable. It's going to be very tricky to get out of, but they do have a tool, an instrument, perhaps not a shovel, but something to use to dig themselves out of this hole. And you know what, they've shown so much potential. It was competitive, right? If they were just rolled over, if they were just absolutely chucked out of the window, you'd be like, yeah, this is over. But they can certainly win these games. They've shown that they're all fantastic players. And this isn't a KCL story. Mama P certainly have a lot more to tell.
There's way, way more in this one. I would be surprised if we don't see a long map in the next one on Vertigo. But talking about Vertigo, we are going to take a quick break. We're not going to jump straight into it. So we will be back in 5 minutes with some more CS. We will be right back.
We left this town with the speakers loud and the radio playing old Sublime that we stole online, every verse we know. And we hadn't had a clue if we'd make it by noon or even where we'd go. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere. The tank said E and we all agree that we're just too broke to fill it back up, so we left your truck on the road with Rome. Then we found a motel with a cigarette smell, so we knew we're close. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. Is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. Don't get left behind on the road. But don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. Don't get left behind on the road. raps about hope. We hold our thumbs high and hope someone is kind enough to give us all a ride. And we wouldn't have a clue if we'd make it back to or even where we'd go. But we don't need a map, everywhere is home. A Ford stopped on the street, said where you trying to be. We said we don't really care, we'll know it when we're there. We took on down the road, he flipped on his radio. Santeria started slow, so we knew that we were close. Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. 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 Home is where I can find some peace of mind to make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Newell in our grand finals. 2-0 to KCL Lions at the moment. Joined, of course, as always, by Pulio. Ant, what are you thinking before our game? And more importantly, what map are we about to jump into?
It's a hell of a step up, all the way down from the overpass, not the underpass, but they do have a bit of on the underpass, all the way up to the heights of skyscrapers in Vertigo, which is spectacular. It's always great fun to cast. It's always a fantastic map, just chaos everywhere. And even if it's slightly ordered chaos with actual executes and strats, it's always fun. I love it. It's such a fun map. It's such great chaos. anarchy all across the board. Yeah, you hyped? I'm hyped. I'm excited. It's going to be great.
I'm always hyped. Regardless of the map, I'm hyped. As
Dust
long
2.
as it's not Dust 2,
Yeah,
I'm ready
okay.
for it. I'm absolutely ready. And thank God that Dust 2 has disappeared. Thank God that the teams here as well banded out to the final one. There is genuinely, just outside of sort of Newell for a second, just within the sphere of CS, there's no map that I've enjoyed less in my time playing Counter-Strike than Dust 2. I've got to say, I'm sorry to offend anybody in the chat that loves Dust 2. It never worked for me. It never clicked. And then the sorts of players you find on that map, just sometimes they are the worst of the worst. So glad that we're not seeing it today. It gives me flashbacks every time I play it. So or even cast it, even see Dust 2, it just hurts me. So excited to be jumping into Vertigo, a map that I've talked non-stop about when I've been on stream. When I've been here, I constantly talk about how much I want to see Vertigo, how much I want to see Ancient, how much I want to see Nuke. And thank God we have one of them at least tonight, because Vertigo is truly one of my favourites.
Yeah, it is a quality game. I 100% agree with you with Dust 2, but this isn't a Dust 2 monathon, I guess. So I'll move on from that, because I honestly could go all night on that, honestly. But as you said, Vertigo, looking forward to it. It is KCL's pick. They're going to be happy with it. They're going to be confident on it. And obviously, many people have the pick of side. So I'm assuming they're going on the CT. What do you think we're looking for from both of these teams? Do you think MMP are well practiced on this? Do you think they're going to have their CT side solid and airtight? Because obviously they weren't looking fantastic. Their T side was much better on Overpass than their CT side. I say much better, a fair bit better. They looked pretty dominant quite a few times. Whereas the CT side, obviously they won some rounds, but they didn't really seem to get in the swing of it too much.
I think their confidence as well was a little bit knocked as well. Kind of as that T side was starting to get away from them, you could see that the players were losing it a little bit. You saw on the AUP, Cairo struggled a little bit sort of as time went on, as he started missing more of those shots, as the players started punishing them a lot harder when he did miss them. He just sort of crumbled in terms of his confidence in himself. You know that he has the ability on the AUP. He still finished positive because of just how well he did on the T side. It's just jumping onto that CT side as players were taking advantage of the little gaps that they had everywhere. They were overthinking putting two players towards long because they were seeing Volt play there all the time. They were overthinking. They were underconfident, and it meant that they really struggled. So coming into this one, they need to have a strong start to make sure that they are really firing on all cylinders, because we've seen what they can do when they are. So hopefully that is what we see, because otherwise this could be a very quick 3-0 grand finals. And that, to be honest, with our current record of watching grand finals that's pretty par for the course, isn't it? That's relatively where we've been every single time.
Yes. Yeah, honestly, that's pretty much it. Not exactly how it happened, but yeah, last season, Rush B versus UWE, that second map, it was two maps, right? Best of 5 weighted. Unfortunately, it was only 2 maps. Hopefully, we don't get the same thing here. And if we do, at least it's going to be a bit more of a competitive second map on Vertigo, as you do get straight into it. Shelf picking up a kit, the rest of his buddies all just staying on armor. And as I say, that puppy's already dead. Dr. Space can be aggressive, gets a kill of his own, falls all the way back, or slowly falling back. Hesitates a bit, tries to take the fight. Jin takes him down. Jin looking for another, and I'll get it. Pushing straight forward into the site. Key Synergy trying to cover the rotation, staying throughout mid, and straight through the edge of the smoke, Jin gets another. Takes down Shelf, and Key Synergy still in mid, ever the menace he is. Takes down Diabolic Carp. What a round, over so quickly, and well, hopefully that doesn't set the tone for the map.
Yeah, quick glance at our observers files there as well. KCL Lions, they have come into this one strong, and talking about strong starts, it's the wrong team that have jumped in as strong as they have, continuing the momentum from the first map, and likely hoping to probably pick up another one. I mean, you think, right, they're looking to pick up a second round. All of these guys are firing on all cylinders at the moment. You saw it, just Jin coming around the corner, not a player that's always associated with that, just kill after kill. It's usually, when you're looking at this, Volt or Benyaz or Fahudi that really, or Key Synergy even. Jin, a very, very competent player. All of them are competent, of course, and Jin is managing pretty solid stats across this, but to come in just as strong as he did, pick up 3 kills, pretty much unparalleled in terms of the headshot potential of them. He's had a bit of a scorcher of a first round, and likely hoping to keep that one up as Key Synergy and Volt pick up 2 kills, and Shelf is caught out too. It's Dr. Spades left with the dual Berettas. Actually does manage to get the kill on Benya somehow, but surrounded on all sides. A very expected second round from KCL Lions as Mama Pete They fall 2 behind, and now are going to be able to buy and have equal weaponry. And this is where it gets interesting, Anne.
This is where it gets interesting indeed. I'd certainly agree with that. Rifles, right? They're brought out. KCL, a slight hesitancy from me because they've got Volt sticking on the Scout and a MAC-10 still on the squads. And you can see that brandish there. No skin, but it doesn't matter. They still get the win. As he's going to be sitting there waiting to lurk. And Volt looking to try and get any sort of an advantage he can early on, trying to find anyone getting a bit too aggressive, a bit too overzealous on the fight. AUE swings out, fires a few shots, takes a bit of damage, but nothing major done. As Mama P, as I said, got the rifles now, they're looking to start bringing out some actual strats, and that is not quite the time for it. They look to go for a boost, but unfortunately, KCL, they're expecting it, and they will spray through. Not do a lot of damage, but enough to push them off. Volt getting a tag with the Scout as well, looking to try and swing around and finish him off. But Papa P will remain alive, and they'll get one more kill, but only one, finished off by the MAC-10. And KCL, they actually look to get the sights, and the smokes are down. The plant cannot be stopped.
And can't be in the Scout in the hands of someone like Volt, someone with such potential to pick up so many kills as he can. It comes a bit like an AWP. It's very scary to face against, especially now as players start to lose HP. Diabolic Carp down to 29 for Hoodie, just hiding in this corner, watching for players to come round. I don't think this retake's going to be easy for them. Not a single kit either. Shelf does manage to pick up off Jin, and actually a swing from Vahudi. Trades 1 for 1. Bolt picks off one as well. The bomb is starting to be defused, and Bolt spraying through it, not able to find him, not able to pick up the kill as he's shooting through, still firing away. Dr. Spades gets his head. And Mama P, they just take that one after KC Alliance make it incredibly close. I didn't think they had time.
I didn't think either. I don't know if Mama P actually thought that as well, but they stuck to it. They stuck literally to their guns. And they do get around back. And that's exactly what they needed. They get the buy, they get the win, they get that dub, and they look to continue in winning ways. 5 rifles on the squad, but KCL, they've also got the same thing. They built up a fair bit of money in the previous few rounds, and they're looking to slightly brandish that off. Volt getting the opening kill. That certainly spells quite disaster, but quite a few troubles for Mama P. The Shelf now here by himself, alone on the site, tries to get a fight, and does, in fact, lose it. Cairo in mid will get one of his own. Comes out on top, but it's a 2v4. And they're nowhere near the site. They can't quite get in. This is going to be very tricky to get in. I don't think they're looking to even bother.
I don't really think they should when they're playing against the weaponry that they are. They likely are better off saving. Papa Pete going to take this fight and does actually pick off Volt. Volt uncharacteristically missing out on those shots. Usually good for at least one bullet to the body, and swinging wide too, picks off Vahudi. The retake looks feasible at this point, but of course not enough time to do it. As Papa P and Cairo continue to save, just taking the weaponry out of the hands and likely hoping to pick up some AK-47s. It spells positively for the future though, as they do pick up even more headshots, more kills. Benyaz goes down. Jin, the one player that's left alive, and actually still pushing for kills. I'm not sure exactly why, but it's a round that ultimately is pretty consequential to Mama P. They once again call a timeout in order to think about what they're doing with weaponry. And this time it makes a little bit more sense because players, they need to coordinate the buy. Half of them can, half of them can't. Dr. Spades actually dropped the M4A1S. It looks like they're going to force into this one out.
It does indeed. It's easy. That's a gun I haven't seen in quite a long time. Honestly, checkmate, but still, well, we'll have to see if it still does pack a punch. Diabolic Cup yet to get a kill. The only player in the server, I believe. But again, early days, no point picking off anyone so far. And as you said, yeah, timeout. Early, but I mean, you know what? If they want to use it, if they want to discuss what's going on, what they want to do, fairs. Maybe KCL are expecting these guys just to go for an eco again, but obviously might be packing a bit more than that. They've got 3 rifles. They've got 2 pistols that can certainly do a lot of damage. I was going to say, close range, even the Deagle, relatively distant range, you can take off heads if they're just able to hit those shots. Volt getting very aggressive very quickly. You can see he's got that confidence. It's just completely an aura around him, exuding from him. As he looks to try and get any sort of a kill. Not scared at all.
So scared. There's 3 of them on the ramp, and just from one player having presence here, they've backed away. They've given it up. And I mean, they do manage to get the headshot. They do manage to get the kill. The player swinging wide too. Manages to get a 1-for-1 trade and still pushing for the advantage. This AK-47 continues swinging wide, but the bomb site's gone. Playing so passive in terms of the A bomb site push in terms of the ramp. It's not really good enough from the CT side as they start backing towards the site. Lucky to pick up the kills they do. Key Synergy watching the flank too, manages to pick off the headshot. And the CZ from range isn't going to be able to get the spray down. You've got to tap from that range, Diabolic Cup. You can't just spray. Mama P from a position that looked relatively positive, albeit rather disjointed. They fall away, they lose the round, and now they're on an eco. It's less positive for them as KCL Lions start to run away with this.
That was, unfortunate, right? I'm not sure quite what was going on. I think there's a bit of a lack of KCL coordination there, sorry, communication at least, as there was a guy over by the alley and... Oh, hello. Not a bad shot. But no one called it. So I think Benny just went onto the site and just got shot from the side, had no idea anyone was there. But nevertheless, KCL still won. They still came out on top despite the nice play from MMP, the nice setup. And now MMP are looking a bit more competitive despite the fact they only have pistols. And AK has been recovered by Papa P. And it may just get lost as Jin's looking to take the fight. But for Hoodie, he's actually made his way onto B. He's not got the bomb on him. The bomb's actually been dropped, but if he continues to push further, he may just get greedy with a shot to the face. Dr. Spade saying hello. Shuts him down. Doesn't quite clear out the B bomb site, but certainly gets a kill, and that's all you need. 2 more as Key Synergy and Jin look to push for that and get the plant. And the AKs, the spraying certainly does help them. A bit of pre-fire doesn't hurt them, but certainly does hurt Mama P. Smoke down, Jin finishing off Dr. Spades. Now it's only a 1-man advantage. Bomb plant finally coming in. Gets them a bit more money, but Papa P's arrived, and he's shown them who their daddy is. 2 headshots, taking down KCL Lions, and they get the defuse with plenty of time. Not a bad retake, not a bad round at all from the Warwick side.
Not a bad round, no. And reliving a little bit of the stretch. Sorry, I can't get over the fact you just said daddy live on stream, but yeah, I mean, living the sort of the stretchy boys days almost with the suave and finesse they showed in that round. Taking it to 2. And, you know, last round when I maybe said that KCL Lions were getting carried away and running away with it, I was maybe speaking a little bit too soon. Of course, only had a 3-map round advantage, but certainly looked like they were on track for more than 4 players towards the A bomb site. This is a hard hold from the CT side. They're really going all in at this point. I think just the util being thrown, though, by Cairo before he rotates down in towards middle. Benyas continuing to push it and actually hasn't quite been noticed. Going to push through and might catch someone unawares if he's lucky with his timing. There's one player around this corner and his timing is good. He gets a headshot on Shelf, who didn't have any head armor. Does manage to pick him off, but Dr. Spades trades him out and continues holding on towards the ramp, spraying through. The Molotov goes down, backs away towards the site, but happy with a 2-man advantage. Volt and Benyas dead. Shelf has gone down in response, but 2 for 1 is absolutely good enough for the CTs.
Yeah, it's certainly a turn of fate, a turn of events. As MMP look to start actually showing that they're present here in this grand final. If they do lose this map, they are out. They are second place, which obviously isn't bad at all, but you want to put a bit more of a fight. You want to win. You're here to win. You're playing to win. And Mama P, I think they've actually finally arrived on this map. A bit of a lag from the first one, but now they're ready to play Diabolic Cup in a very cheeky angle and doesn't get a kill, but a team kill does come of his actions, I guess, as Key Synergy eventually shuts him down, but Papa P's already there. And he seals the deal, gets them to 3. A nice clean end to the round, not bad at all.
Nice kill from Vahudi as well. Very clean with the deagle to pick off his teammate. Sure, he'll be overjoyed with that stat on his record. The first team kill of the grand finals. And the AWP in the hands of Cairo going towards the A bomb site, I should say. So this might be one to look out for KCL Lions. As soon as given up, as soon as this is noticed, it will be a surprise, a shock. They need to use that to their advantage, but Dr. Spade's only able to trade out his teammate. Volt picks him off, albeit taking 98 damage in the process, and that is the M4A1S nerf right in front of your very eyes on 2 HP. Volt, if that was an M4A4, he would most likely be dead. But Mama P instead have a one-man disadvantage. This AK can be incredibly damaging, especially against the AWP of Cairo. If Cairo is managed to be isolated, this AWP is one-shot kill anyway. Being on 2 HP, essentially the same as being on 100 HP without util usage. Diabolic Carp, though, seems in for it as the players start to funnel into his position.
A nade being thrown out. No one really... Well, Hoodie is usually losing 2 and 3 HP, respectively. But nothing much more than that as the flashes come in and smokes 2. Diabolic Carp getting at least 1 kill. A good trade from the T side as Volt's up so close, and how people get the first one, doesn't realise Volt's so close, can't actually push him to stop the bomb plant. He doesn't know Volt's there, but he may just check it just in time, waiting for this smoke to fade perhaps, and waiting for his teammate to come in as he can't quite get the spray. There's so much damage to Jin. 21 HP from the 2 Ts combined, but Jin still gets a kill. Volt's up close, right next to the smoke. And Puppy's in a tricky position. He doesn't realise how low they are. He's waiting for the peak, hits the headshot, but where is Volt? Taps to the corner, doesn't hit him though, and Volt will swing out and finish him off. And that is one of the closest rounds I've seen recently. What a nail biter.
And there's the 2 HP as well. The 2 HP coming in at the very end. That's where it is. That's where the difference is made. Those single rounds made off of a single bullet not hitting, and then at that point, because the spray's not worked out, it just has knock-on effects. The butterfly effect in full force. As Dr. Spade's actually continuing to push, going to go all the way through here, but taking quite a lot of damage from the Molotov. Goes down, actually only loses 24 HP, but watching for players to push through this time, knows that players are in this position. Benyaz with the AWP through the wall, over the smoke, takes him out, and Jin continues to push. These players on the ramp are suffering at this point. Mama P do not have a firm grip on this position. KC Alliance continually exploiting it, going for the same boost again that's been checked in the past, hoping that this time maybe they're able to pick off a player, but not perfectly timed. A player's already gone round, and Volt's going to be able to pick them up. No! He's missed the knife! No! How is he managing? No, there's no way! How? Volt gets one somehow with the backstab, misses it. The players miss the sound cue, but still Shelf manages to get one. Papa P on the other side of the map too, gets away from the player who's pushing on towards the A bomb site, or the B bomb site I should say. This has all gone wrong for both teams in this position as the bomb now starts to go down towards the B bomb site. And KCL Lions, they could have had a very clean entry on towards the A bomb site, but over-aggressive from Volt. The bomb still not being planted for Hoodie. Trades out Shelf. Papa P in a 1 versus 1, gets the spray down from range. And KCL Lions, they lose it from greed. They lose it from playing over what they should have been doing. And somehow, God knows how, Mama P have managed to take the round.
Well, yeah, you act goofy, you get shown up for being goofy. Like, perhaps a bit too silly in that regard. And Mama P, they live to try and continue to stick around. Obviously, you just get a knife for the grand final, but if you lose the round, it's not ideal at all. 4-5, Mama P do call a tactical timeout. As obviously, I guess they realise that they could have and probably should have lost that round. So they will be discussing how do we almost lose that round? Great that we didn't, but also what went wrong? Let's sort it out right now. How did that happen? And I mean, it's smart from them to a degree. I guess you've got timeouts, use them, and especially they've got to be discussing what do they do now with the money. Cairo on just a deagle, Diabolic Carp on only an MP9, and with one of the rifles already gone, Puppy has to go big, and he does to a degree. He does get 2 kills, makes it a bit more even, but that is 2 of the rifles gone. So unless the other CTs can try and somehow slip here and pick up those guns, it's not fantastic. And it's actually been given up by KCL. Jin's already really low as well, and he's only got a Tech 9. This is very desperate days for both teams.
Yeah, 21 HP on Jin is really the point to focus on here. Shelf with no head armor too could be very, very bad. The Galil, the Tech 9, means he's one shot to both of these weapons, and he's the one protecting the A bomb site. So Kairo's just died? Did he just jump off the map? I actually can't believe that in such an important round. It's now just shelved towards the A bomb site. Players are shifting up. He's not even looking the right way. He's caught unawares, but sees the players now swinging in. The spray not quite good enough as he only gets the kill on towards Jin, who is already on 21 HP. The bomb goes down, and what should have been a 2 versus 2 is now a 2 versus 1. As Cairo has fallen off the map. I repeat, he has fallen off the map and died. Diabolic Carp with the MP9 has to pick up well, at least, I mean, he could get 0 kills and defuse the bomb, but he realistically has to pick up both of them. As the player's hiding in these positions, not able to do anything. The AK-47 gives him a little bit of a trim. That's number 0 on the head. Maybe going a little bit too close. KCL Lions, they take it to 6. Mama P still on 4. And I cannot overestimate how bad the fall off the map from Cairo was in that one, in terms of the course of the round.
I'm going to have the stream up on my second monitor just to see if that actually happened. Because I don't think... He might have been low in HP and just fell off a ladder or something. But either way, that's disastrous. You can't let that happen, right? You've got to practice your KZ, man. You can't do that. Especially in a grand final and give up your rounds with your team around. And with that, obviously, the consequences of his actions, they're on to essentially nothing. Just a few pistols. And they're already down 2 players in this round. Volt just having a swell time taking them apart. Key Synergy chimes in 2 throughout the middle. And Shelf is trying to get Cheeky. But Cheeky, well, he got slapped for it. He takes him down. The last player alive. Can't even land a shot. And KCL have a clean run, which will certainly help their economy out.
Certainly will, and the T's really don't need much help with their economy generally. I mean, the T-side economy, again, if you're new to CSGO, the T-side economy much stronger generally than the CT side. It's able to survive a little bit more of a beating, so when players do die, they're able to get a little bit more. And when 5 players stay alive, it's pretty much unbeatable. They gain so much money, they're able to do so much with it, because everything is just that little bit cheaper. But Dr. Spade starting off well with a kill on Fahudi and picking up the AK-47 as well. Key Synergy does notice that the players are pushing in a little bit aggressively, and KCL Lions actually managed to take the A-bomb site, but not without Cairo doing just a little bit. The AK-47 as well picked up once again. It's Jin with the Galil, hoping to pick a few players off at range, and players are just swinging into him one by one, and he is picking these off relatively easily. Cairo at this point hiding as players swinging in towards him. Now you can see, in fact, Volt is going to come around this corner. He's looking the wrong way, and that's a clean kill from Volt. The players without any armor, though, should be happy to have picked off 2, albeit probably were hoping for just a little bit more, as they now have double the number of rounds, KCL Lions, and have technically won the half regardless of the next 3.
So just to talk about Cairo, he was in spawn and tried to do the jump around the edge onto the B-bomb site. I don't know why, there was no one there. His teammate was already on site, and he just missed it. So slightly wacky and a bit disadvantageous and slightly upsetting, but alas, we do move on. Dr. Spade certainly has. He's got a kill early on in this round, takes down KCL's key player in the form of Volt. No more kills from this round at least, and Shelf gets the better of Benny as Fahudi's in with the AWP, looking to try and find any way back into this, trying to find a bit of a pick, and he does! A lightning fast pick. Straight onto Cairo. Beautifully done, and Key Synergy, he shuts down Dr. Spade, trying to just swing back, trying to bite back. And he's the one who gets bit instead, back to 3-on-3, even footing. It's not looking fantastic for me, but the rotations are here. Despite the mollies and smokes coming in from the T side, CTs are throwing their own back out, and now KCL is sort of not quite sure what to do. The bomber isn't there to plant yet, and they don't actually know if someone's on short. So eventually, Booty's looking to try and clear it, and Shelf will push through. He'll finish off the bomb plant. He'll turn around as well. That smoke was perfectly timed to be thrown. And as I said, Mama P not looking great. They're actually turning around. Papa P finds a kill of his own, and it's Fahudi. Last alive with the AWP, tries to get the no-scope, but can't quite land the shot. They're rolling back into it, or trying to at least. They break the 3-round streak, get their 5th, and have, well, 3 alive, right? That's good, so they can at least drop the final other 2 players, but KCL, they've got enough money that they're more than happy to buy into this, and they've got Beniaz picking up the AWP once again.
They'll be happy, though, with the weapons that they're able to save, and 3 players not having head armor at the end of the day, inconsequential when you're against the AK-47s, and certainly inconsequential when Dr. Spades is able to get a headshot like that to start the round off. 15 seconds gone, 1 player dead, and KCL Lions already at a disadvantage.
That was pretty quick. And, well, it happens, and as I say that, Papa P, the star on Mama P, is taken down. And it's back to 4-4, and Fahoody's not actually stopping there. He's looking to get quite aggressive, quite curious. Throws a molly, looks to push straight into B. Diabolic Cart behind the pole, swings out, taken down. The spray is good. Dr. Spade's trying to fight, trying to just stop the inevitable from happening, but he can't. He's taken down, and KCL, they just floods all over Mama P. They break in through mid, they break in through B, and Cairo is left on his lonesome with an AWP and a dream, and that dream is just trying to save it. 9-5 is going to be the outcome for KCL, and they've got to be pretty happy with that on the T side.
It's dire for the CTs, realistically, to be 9-5 down and potentially 10-5. It's really, really worrying for them, especially when Shelf, Diabolic Cart, not going to be able to fully buy. Cairo has to save this. If players do end up finding him, he's... this is it, right? He needs to save this AWP. It's going to be absolutely vital for them. Players start to come in. The Molotov goes down, and well, he does die. $2,800 instead of an AWP and $2,800 puts them in a horrific spot. MP9s likely, an M4 potentially for Papa P, but most of these players are not going to be able to have utility, not going to be able to have a full weapon. And it puts them in just the worst possible spot going into the final round of the half. And well, when we spoke about momentum, KCL Lions seem to have a lot of it. But swinging in towards middle, once again, the CT side pick up the first kill, but they've traded it for complete B bomb site control for the T side as players now holding in towards the angle. Volt picks off one. The swing in, Papa P does manage to get Volt on the trade, hoping as players start to peek into the angle for Hoodie. Just his timing is just quite right, swinging in, hoping to maybe pick up just another one. The Molotov goes down to block the entry from players coming in towards the site. Spots the player pushing forward in Shelf. Does spray him down, is able to pick up the expected kill. It's only Dr. Spades left who's coming in from behind, but this should be very expected from KCL Lions. They should be able to see this one out 10-5. They absolutely are. The AK-47 trumping the FAMAS. And well, while Mama P have a player popping off in Papa P, KCL Lions well ahead at the interval.
17 kills, highest in the team, highest in the server. For Hoodie's the closest, one behind on KCL. And, well, you can get 17 kills, but if your teammates, they're not quite charming and they're not quite doing as well, it's not going to work. On the CT side, at least, anyways, they're certainly going to have to just become alive, right? It's 10-5. Yeah, just KCL are 6 rounds away from taking this grand finals in, well, 2 maps, but technically 3, but technically 2. And Mama P, they've not really had too much to say about it. They've got to start taking these fights and winning, I guess, right? Getting these confidence back. It's a very difficult position to be in, but it's one you've got to fight your way out of. You've got to find that will. You've got to dig down deep and just, well, make it happen, manifest it. As Mama P are looking to go back towards B, I believe, actually. His Shelf probed a bit on A, is starting to fall back, and with that push from the CT player, he actually stays alive. He gets dinked, or shot just straight in the head. Gush, perhaps, and will fall back, stays alive. That's actually Volt. Stay alive to fight another days for Hoodie. Certainly fighting right now, getting 1 kill at least. He body blocks his teammate. Shelf takes down Key Synergy. As bullets are just fired straight through the smoke, all across the bomb site. Beniaz getting 1 more kill. 3 on 3, and they're tapping away, but the shots can't be landed. Papa P finds one of his own for Hoodie, continuing to get kills, as he's just taking the fight directly to the C side. He's came here to play, and he is certainly playing well. Volt finding 1 more, and Shelf trying to dance around the column, but Volt eventually shuts him down. He doesn't have the kit, but he does have the defuse. Plenty of time. What a round. That was dire, frankly. Not in terms of the round, but dire situation for Mama P. There's, at this point, from a position of such... doing so well in that one. They had the bomb down. They had players all around it. They've just fallen so quickly and so easily. They have to force at this point, although obviously with the bomb down, they always were going to, but they have to force, and realistically, they have to win it. Otherwise, this could end up being 13-5, 14-5. And for Hoodie, going to start it off strong by picking off 2 players with the spray down. The Molotov, or rather the Flash, not able to catch him out. Shelf, at least, in conjunction with Cairo, is able to help. Oh, somehow gets 2 kills. Where have the players gone? How is that? Key Synergy, KCL Lions, I'm lost, and I'm lost.
as KCL have just annihilated them within about 3 seconds.
That's not ideal, to say the least. I will say that. But, you know, I say tomorrow is another day. The next round is another round. This one is not a pretty round. They have essentially nothing. Just Papa P with a deagle and armor. He's just kind of bought that himself. Only got 1100 in the bank. Key Synergy doesn't care. He's just running straight through, looking to take the fight. And the rest of his teammates, the rest of his comrades are looking to join him. But he's doing it all himself. All that heavy lifting, looking for the ace, and he'll get it. A 5k from Key Synergy versus only Glocks, mostly unarmored. But, you know, it's still a nice display of prowess. 30-5, KCL just all over Mama P.
Almost smurfing with that ability to just sprint through and pick kills off in that way. And I think it just shows how absolutely crushed Mama P are. I mean, they were so good throughout this tournament. I've seen them play several times across it, both in this and in other tournaments as well that have been ongoing, university ones. They've looked very solid, and frankly, this probably not the performance that they were expecting. A couple of players just not performing on all cylinders. And, well, Papa P actually able to pick off 2 headshots. He was one of the players that was struggling just a little bit in the previous map on Overpass. Really come out swinging on Vertigo. And has managed to get 2 equalised in terms of the players left alive. Playing a pretty obvious spot for a player to check. The Molotov as well mollies him out, so the players can swing into this angle. And the Molotov just overextending a little bit. Papa P not ready for it and so low on HP. Nothing could really happen. The bomb drops in a terrible position as well. While Shelf looks like he's very aggressive and looks like he's really taking the fight to Mama P. Or to KCL Lions, I should say. He is completely without the bomb, needs to pick off all 3 players in the next 50 seconds in order to be in with a chance. He does know where 2 of them are. It's whether he can get this kill without anybody noticing and going to go for the knife kill. I think he is going to go for the knife kill. He says to Volt, you know what, if you can pick one off, I can get one too. And does actually start moving in towards the bomb. But with 30 seconds left, I think players are actually situated in and around it. Actually, I take that back. Players are above.
Oh no!
Oh no. No, Benyaz was right behind him. Another knife kill in the round. It keeps happening. KCL Lions on 14. Mama P embarrassed at that point. Embarrassed.
He got a knife kill himself. You know, he did take down Volt. He somehow slipped through the cracks, but, well, he wasn't slippery enough. Obviously, stabbed in the back as well himself. And, well, we continue. We move. Jin does kick it off, though, in relatively dominant fashion, getting a headshot with the orb, taking down Papa P, Mama P's best player. And I wouldn't say they lost somewhat, but he's certainly been a very key factor in just opening up the sites and opening up the rounds. Last round, obviously getting 2 kills, opening up their B bomb site, but no one capitalized if nothing happens. I guess it's somewhat a crucial component of this team that's just not been realized. As KCL continues to just run over the T side, winning every fight they take, or nearly every fight they do take. They have lost Key Synergy, as Dr. Spades and Kara are the last 2 left alive. Dr. Spades has the bomb on his back and he's looking to push towards B. Jin is here with the orb, but he gets just tapped off. 1 tap, instantly ruined. Volt is there to get the trade, but Kyra in the meantime has got to kill himself. 1 versus 2, and both players from KCL are on the B-bomb, so they're waiting for him. And he can do absolutely nothing about it. He gets ruined by both of them. And KCL are now on match point, series points. 1 win away from taking the victory. Do you think it'll happen?
The grand final, and a 16-5 no less as well. In the final map, the second map, it would have been a wipe if they take this one. And completely against the grain of what we were expecting, especially because Mama P, this is the Overpass game was their map pick. We were expecting them to take that one. KCL Lions, of course, are going to come into this one a little bit better, but I mean, 16-5? Probably not. And this will be a demolition. I mean, the players here, they're you saw it in the previous round. Dr. Spades, he gets a kill on the site, just sprints out, knife out. He thinks, you know what, I've got it. I've opened it up. And, well, this is the disrespect we're seeing. A Zeus, And Negev,
no.
I mean,
Oh, God,
Benyaz,
jeez.
there could not be more disrespect shown to the Mama P
no.
players, just hiding and watching as players start to go in and around him. The B-bomb site is open and he starts spraying them down. He opens it up and picks one off, but has allowed Dr. Spades all the way through with this AK-47. Still manages to get him. The Negev somehow picks off 2 players. Mama P at least do take the round by allowing those players through, by playing in such a, frankly, Nan, stupid way. He's allowed Mama P to infiltrate. They've picked off kills on his teammate, and frankly, the Negev is not going to win you a round by itself. So KCL Lions rightly punished for that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very certainly ridiculous, and they actually don't really have much money now. They've got 2 AWPs and 2 guys in shotguns, and they're entirely broke. So Mama P do have an angle to get back into this, but they've got to get through this. They've got a very, very long journey ahead, and I think KCL are feeling more than happy to just have a silly round to throw away and then take the victory. As Papa P actually evens it up, takes down Fahudi. That is the XM dropped out of the equation. No more Benelli, as he is gone. And he actually gets a second, I believe, with someone at these stages. As, yeah, it was him, indeed, taking down Jin on the Mag 7. But Benyaz is already there with the AWP. Takes down Dr. Spades and brings it back to even Stevens. 1 minute 10 left on the clock. The bomb's been dropped, I believe, out in the open. And Shelf is looking to try and recover it. He will drop the smoke. That will allow him a bit more space. But now Mama P have to go somewhere together. I think it's one thing that they've certainly been lacking fundamentally throughout this map is it's just the coordination and decisions of where they're going together. Cairo's in mid. Fantastic. He's trying to infiltrate through. But can he actually do anything with that? This is entirely about timing, as whether Key Synergy sees him, and he doesn't. Cairo takes his head off. That opens up the flank, but Volt turns around and immediately nails the headshot somehow. As Benyaz, well, he doesn't have to do anything. Volt's the man to get the next kill. Papa P will finish off Benyaz, but Volt on the site, perhaps the man of the match. Papa P just trying to take him down. Volt dancing around it, and Papa P does. 7-5. Mama P, by the skin of their teeth, they get through thanks to a 4K from the big dog himself.
Son of Mama P, Papa P. And you've got to say, he is dragging them through at the moment. 26 and 16. All of these players really pushing against him. I mean, Mama P, they look good, but Papa P really is the player that's doing the most work. And, well, he's been killed pretty much instantly. Volt as well is picking up kills with this scout. Picks off 2 heads and hoping for another one as well. Cairo, one player that's left in a 1 versus 4. This is a horrific situation as Volt with the headshot on his teammate. It's only Cairo left, and players are hunting for him to make this one 16-7. Gets headshot, no scope to finish it off.
God,
and KCL Lions 16-7. What a win for them. Vertigo has been won, and that is a best of 5 grand finals over with a 3-0 to KCL Lions. A right win for them in the winter season of 2022 at the Newell.
What a way to finish it. I don't even know what happened there, honestly. Volt just apparently just point and click adventure, looks at them, tap, done, scout, go, brr. Like, I didn't know what happened, but as I said, they had a silly round at the end because they had the confidence, right? They knew that they could take that game, and that's exactly what they did. They just trampled Mama P in that second map. And obviously, there were some fantastic plays from Mama P. They did get 7 rounds. It wasn't 16-0. It wasn't 16-2. It was 16-7 in the end. But when you've got players who just aren't fragging, or you've just got a lack of coordination, you've got KCL, who chose that map for a reason, because they've got coordination coming out of every orifice possible. You know, you can't really compete with that too well.
You absolutely can't. KCL rightly deserved that one after Mama P really sort of melted away just a little bit over time. They really sort of lost some of that oomph that they had that we saw in the first map. Overpass, they looked really competitive, especially in the first half. They sort of looked set, to be honest, to win the entire event. They looked like it could go 3-2 or 3-0, you know, kind of, or 3-1 coming in to this one. You know, just watching the first half, you would put your money on Mama P to take that one. Meanwhile, KCL Lions, they just weren't firing. Volt didn't look like he was quite there. A player that, you know, we know has fantastic ability, Benyaz as well. We saw a number of players on the KCL Lions team that we know are good that just weren't showing up in the first half of the map. And then over that, as time passed on, they just slowly ramped up. And meanwhile, Mama P unfortunately went the opposite direction. So a very good win for them. They looked solid on both maps, KCL Lions, and yeah, you can't really look at this scoreline and think, you know what, KCL Lions got lucky, because they didn't. They really deserved this on merit.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with that. They did look the better team, and the first map, it was fantastic. And Malmby, as said, as you said, they certainly could have taken that. And if they wanted to stay in this, they should have, right? Because that third map would have been a lot more interesting, or technically fourth map. But unfortunately, the KCL just sort of overwhelmed them in the end. And as you said, very rightly so, KCL went up, and Malmby the stonks went through the ground. And that's how it is sometimes, right? It's a game of mental and just turning up on the day. And KCL certainly did. Volt just doing spectacularly in that second map. And Papa P, shout out to him, he did do absolutely fantastic himself as well on that second map. But, if you're writing off, perhaps writing off, maybe they didn't write it off, but it sort of seemed that way. They didn't seem anywhere near as cohesive as KCL did on Vertigo. You've got to win that first map. You've got to stick everything into that. And maybe that was their everything. That's why they didn't, they did try their best, and they just did get beaten by the sort of superior team. But you've got to take your map picks if you're looking to start off that second one, really. And they didn't in the end.
Yeah, they were already playing at obviously a disadvantage of being 2-0 down. To put everything in a map that KCL Lions have come in and picked is really a difficult spot to be in. And while their performance wasn't quite there on Vertigo, and I'm sure if they could redo it, tomorrow they would come in better than following up off the Overpass game. I think time was needed between those two maps for them, a little bit longer, just to reset and mentally kind of get back into it. And I think we saw as well, just on ramp, how that worked. They played very, very passive, Mama P. They weren't really on the CT side, that is. They weren't taking the ramp control in the same way that we saw KCL Lions take it on the other half. So KCL, they were throwing the smoke down. They had 4 players come in to throw the util, then they would have 3 players remain around this angle. It was always a very, very solid hold from KCL. Meanwhile, Mama P, they just were a little bit scared. But anyway, I'm hearing in my ear that we have an interview coming up with one of the KCL Lions players. Very excited for this one, as we're getting Ku into the in here with us. How are you doing, Ku? How are you feeling after that victory?
Yeah, kind of surreal. I mean, we're not a very good CS team historically, so feels quite good.
Putting yourself down a little bit there.
I mean, you have to understand that we just made Div 2 last year, and we've had some really, really passionate CS players this semester. I've been here for nearly 4 years. I've got 2 more years left of my degree, so we've had a whole change of people. But we were hungry this semester. And I'm really happy with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you smashed it. Coming into this as well, obviously, prior to today, it looked like it was going to be UWC Stags coming into this.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
In terms of your preparation coming into this, playing against Mama P with that last minute sort of change, or, with only a day to prepare for that, did that change anything coming into this matchup? Any prep that went out the window because of this?
No, well, they're both really, really good teams. I mean, we were initially a lot more scared of Warwick and Mama P because their team play is crazy. And even earlier today, we were quite annoyed about their overpass because they play such a good overpass. We're very lucky to have Volt for overpass because a lot of the team don't like it. Because he was able to tune in a bit more, because I'm normally the one who called a little bit more, but with a bit more advice and a lot of visibility just to walk into sites. We're very, very lucky, but their overpass is very good, and their Vertigo always beat us. So, I mean, I think we just played really well, but both of them are both great. I mean, the preparation would have been the same, to be honest.
So have you done too much prep with obviously Vertigo if you're expecting to be able to play it and take it on? So you looked not quite flawless, but certainly very dominant on there, very, very comfortable. A few times, a few weaknesses, right? But pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
Were you happy with that? How it played out?
I'm the weakness on Vertigo, so I had to do a lot more on my homework. That was why I sat out that game, because we have quite a big squad this year, which is great. But on our Vertigo is seriously improved. We didn't play it at all last year. We've had lots of people who come in to be like, let's just play this map, let's learn it. And I never played it before now. So 2 or 3 of us never really played it, and they played a lot outside of uni just to get it up to scratch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, sort of the kind of thing where when you're in a best of 5 final, right, and having a large squad, it just generally benefits you. Is that something? I know that you've kind of had some changes as time's gone on, and players have come in and out as you've gone through the season. Was that something that was planned coming, over the season, or is that just something where you're filling gaps, or how are you looking into this? Looking back in semi-finals, quarterfinals, things like that.
Well, to be totally honest, I mean, coming into the year as the CS admin of Kings, I wasn't expecting many people, because with Valorant and CSGO, you can never really be sure. But what ended up happening was we got lots and lots of really hungry first and second years, and people who were in the university but kind of played like open to inters themselves, and they really enjoyed playing in a 5. And we met up everybody, and we ended up getting a big squad. Like we normally have 4 or 5, and then we've had to forfeit. But now we have like 7 or 8. We've had some people who when we have our stand-ins who are level 10, or the ones who are like available but are available all the time. Like it's just bizarre to us. We're not a very big CS:GO scene of a uni, but I mean, apparently not the case. Also, by having someone like Volt and Kai Synergy, both of them who both play quite a lot of Team CS, it's quite nice to have them to teach people what to do, because a lot of us don't have that level of experience and expertise that they have, and they know how to play better than most at a university standard. We're lucky to have them at uni, but obviously we lose them both, I think, next year. So let's not think about
that. I mean, you've brought up, I think, a really fantastic point just for people watching at home about University CS and kind of the opportunity that it brings and applying and going out there. I think that's something that I want to really highlight is go to your society, have a look if you can join, because people will always want you, whether there's already a team there that you think is really good. They'll always make a second team for you. There will be reserve spots. Don't stop yourself from going through. And I think you've brought up a really wonderful point there, just on kind of the importance of mentoring as well within this, because going to university, you never know who's going to be on there. You could have 10 level 10s and then a few level 7s knocking about, and people are always happy to teach. So it's good to have you on here, Ku, and congratulations as well on winning the grand finals, 3-0 at that as well. Got to feel good. But that's for our interview today. And
thanks a lot,
thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you, gents.
Bye. Right. So anyway, a wonderful interview there with Ku, our guy that won on KCL Lions. Of course, only playing in the first map because of just the width of talent that there's available there. But any closing thoughts from yourself out before we disappear for the night?
I thought that was something funny. I thought maybe he hasn't played this first map, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't know if I'm just going nuts or something. So I'm glad that he did say that, and obviously it's fantastic that, like, on the one hand, you usually want a cohesive 5-man squad, right? But the fact that they've been able to be so fluid with all of them, I didn't expect that at all, and it was honestly fantastic. And overall, it was a good 2 maps to watch, despite the 3-0 outcome. They were 2 pretty solid maps, especially from KCL, just showing exactly what they can do. And I look forward to seeing more of both of these teams, hopefully next season.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Of course, spring season's just around the corner, but at this point, I think that is all for us for tonight. It was wonderful being with you. And if you are interested in anything that we do, !talent in chat. As well as that, we've got our wonderful producer and observer behind the scene, Tex and Simba, respectively. Both of them do fantastic work. Been wonderful to work with. And everybody at Newell as well. Becca, MSC, very involved with these streams and very great people to talk to. Not inviting us to lunch, though, feels pretty bad.
Yeah,
but
it's a bit me, honestly.
Excited. It's always lovely to work with them, and it's always lovely to be here. But I think that's all from us this time, and we will see you for the spring season and see you for future finals next time.